Hello everyone, Riccardo Massini here, and this is Vlog, and this is Dance of War. Well, the game is published by Free Crown Games, and really, I don't know if Free Crown Games has a good distribution outside the European Union, because it is a Swedish publisher. But really hope so, because they're very nice game. Really in a nutshell, if you liked A Victory Lost by Tetsuya Nakamura, republished by MMP, well, you will love the Free Crown Games titles, because they're based exactly on that same system, chit pool and proximity and HQ proximity. That is when you have all the HQs on the map, but when you pull out a cheat of activation of that formation, and you see, you get to see, okay, I pull the 15th Panzer, for example, okay, and so where is the HQ, the 15th Panzer? Or it is, okay, and then you see the proximity. Okay, let's see. Okay, so all the units that are in close proximity, enough in common range of the HQ are fully activated, and they can do whatever they want. They can move and fight, etc., etc. Very easy and absolutely dynamic. We all know high replayability, high solid playability, suitability. Okay, we all know the pros and also the cons of the cheat pool system. It is a bit random. If you are unlucky and your adversary has all the activations coming out one after the other, then you're in big trouble. But maybe the next turn you'll be luckier. So it is very dramatic, and it is also very easy to play it multiplayer. Also, if this game has special three-player rules. So one player plays the Commonwealth, another the German, and another the Italian command. And if something goes wrong on the Axis side, let the recriminations begin. And we all know, Italians and Germans, sometimes they don't like to speak too much about that alliance. Okay, but after that, where are we? North Africa. Alamein, but the first battle of Alamein. Also here, very shortly, the situation. Rommel with the Germans and the Italian forces has captured Tobruk, and then comes here up to the railroad. The railroad exchange of Alamein. Here is Egypt, Alexandria, Cairo. And so Rommel is riding high on his successes, and he has good resupplies and reinforcements. He has all the Italians finally resupplies at Tobruk with good equipment, with enough ammo, and they have set up a good defensive position. So he has gathered together all his armored forces and can strike now at the South African and Indian and the scattered and still a bit disorganized Commonwealth forces. The problem is he has not so much time. Why? Because Auchinleck on the Commonwealth side is reorganizing his troops, and he is preparing a great counterattack. So this game is the first desperate attack by Rommel. I try to break the retreating Commonwealth formations before they get organized, and then the Commonwealth formations get organized, and they have reinforcements, resupplies, and they push back the Germans. But the Italians, this is strange, because in Italy we always remember the second battle of Alamein, where our forces were overwhelmed by the great superiority in man and material coming also from the Americans, and we all know the Great Retreat and blah blah blah. We almost don't remember the first battle of Alamein, that when the Italian forces held back the first great Commonwealth counterattack, and then the line stabilized, and after a couple of attempts at Alamein Alpha and other, near the Katara Depression, the line stabilized, and then we get to the second Battle of El Alamein with the Montgomery, etc. Anyway, what this makes is that also thanks to the cheat pool, activation system, this makes for a very delinearized, very fragmented, but also very dramatic, very engaging game with lots of concentrated attacks and counterattacks with great push here. And in a situation, the Axis forces get the first push, then they're pushed back, then get to the defensive. And also, you have many challenges. You have scatter formations all around the map. Also, all the victory point locations are scattered around all the map. So, Rommel must maintain a local superiority, but his victory point locations are scattered all over. So at one point he has to fragment, and exactly that moment, here they come, the great Commonwealth reinforcements. Wow, this makes for a great situation. African games titles that use this exact system, well, there are many scenarios. Most of them are about the Eastern Front, but I like them, but I'm not so interested because they're mostly, except with some exceptions, the Eastern Front in 1944, 1945. So you have the usual situation. The Germans are outnumbered. Germans are retreating. They have control of the place. They can make some small counterattacks here and there, but their situation is essentially hopeless. This is incredibly swinging situation. This is a very, very, very fun game. And also there are other games coming. One about also the great mobile campaigns of World War I, Tannenberg and Lodz, and the campaign in what was at the time called Palestine, essentially modern day Israel and Jordan. Wow, they are fantastic. They're great games, all with this system. There are also some special rules in each title. For example, the scattered and disorganized first armored for the Commonwealth, or there are some, for example, these Italian guys, begin play, but they're essentially stuck there because their command chit arrives at another turn. There is a scripted stream of reinforcements, so this essentially drives on the narrative, the general narrative, but you have, as a player, your challenge is to steer these flow reinforcements of general strength and weakness up to your advantage. And this is very interesting because you know that in some turn you'll have less reinforcements, so you have to plan ahead and make good for everything, for the good times. It is very challenging and very engaging, very, very fun, this game. Okay, and also you have air units, you have also random events, you have lots of variable, because the general flow is that first a German advantage, an Axis advantage, and then a Commonwealth advantage, then a stabilization of the front. But inside this, you have lots of variables, random events, also the random activations, the random effects of the combats. The CRT is very differentiated between, very diversified between disorganized units and retreats and eliminations. So there are lots of different results and very diversified results. So it is once again, a very dynamic game in every single aspect. And after that, you have also optional rules. You have used for optional secret victory conditions for the Axis, and that increase the tension. This is a very tense and fantastic and very nice game. But as I said, very, very challenging. I really like this game, and I like this title in particular in the series. I have many models in the series, but this is one of the models that I really like the most. Also because it is very simple. This is a perfect, I'd say, second experience with X and Counter War games. You have a first experience where you learn all the ropes, and then general principles, and then you get this as a second experience. It is fun, it is perfect. You have zones of control, you have supply, you have CRTs, all the usual blah blah blah, and that's it. There's no real difficulty in this. A bit of special rules, but not even too much. Not even too many special rules. I really like the general approach to this system. Problem is, there is one big problem of this game. And in general, the series, they are long games. Not complex, not too many counters, because more or less also with the reinforcements, you have lots of eliminations. So it's not absolutely not complex, but it is long. I'd say 5 to 6 hours. And yes, you can play that in 2 sessions, or one very long 1-day session. Oh, this is a perfect, very good game for conventions, because you set it up in the morning and you play all day with lots of pauses and intermissions in between. And you really appreciate some small touch like, well, I like the fact that the same location has very different values for the two, and lots of small details you appreciate. But for the general player, having a game 6 hours on the table is not so easy. So, considering that this was a multi-stage battle, there are 10 game turns. Dear Freaker Games, why did you not provide us with smaller scenarios for the same battles? The great Rommel attack, the first attack by Rommel, the great counter-attack by Ocean Lake, the front stabilizers. Okay, these are 3 scenarios, 4 to 5 game time scenarios with different positions on the map. Was it so difficult to do? I don't think so. And also, you provide us with this great campaign scenario. I say this is a very good game that does only the campaign scenarios and lacks the smaller 2 to 3 hour scenarios. Someone maybe on BGG will make them, because it is very easy to make them, but why? Also, there are great evolutions, there are minefields that come on turn 5 or 6 with lots of details. Maybe the German also can reuse some British and come up with mines, and so I have more minefields. And also minefields are it is a very correct game historically, because they are not overpowering. Very good, lots of they have limited effects. This is a very balanced game, very calibrated, very nice. But there is this problem. Maybe you can solve that with Vassal module. This one is not yet a Vassal module. I know that they're working on Vassal modules, but too bad. Of course, now, this is the 8th title in the series. Now, Freaker Games is working on smaller games with the same system, on 2-3 hour scenarios. Now that you are at the 10th or 11th title in the series, okay, maybe they will be more enjoyable. But okay, this is the only the only real problem of the game. After that, if you play wargames, you will learn to play this in minutes. You just have to remember some small rules here and there, but nothing bad. Great components, great map, great counters, great presentation. Really like this model presentation. So, if you can manage the duration of the game, I really recommend that. I really recommend those games. They're not so easy to find. Well, they're easy to find here in Europe. I don't know outside of Europe. Also, they are printed in small numbers. I'd say 200, 300 copies at most. I think, judging by the quality of the counters, that is very high. They have a very nice satin worn varnish. You see some of the units start up reduce, you have to use replacements later to get them to full value. Okay, I'd say that they are printed by, if I remember well, by Taktyki Strategia, by our great Polish friend Wojciech Zaleski. So absolutely top-notch components. You don't need to clip those counters. They're perfect as they are. And I'd say that if you try to clip them, then you will ruin the setting vanish. So keep them as they are. They are perfect. And I really like the presentation. I really recommend this series. Absolutely not complex. If you're an experienced wargamer, you will learn that in minutes. If you are not, they are perfect second experience, second contact with wargames, and you will really, really like them, especially this one in particular, but also the others. I have not yet tried Tannenberg. I think it is called Prussian Carnage or something like that. But I really like that, and I'm eager to try the one for Alamein. Also, there is another one in North Africa, Battle Axe. Yeah, great games. Really recommend them. Absolutely, absolutely. This has been Dance of War by Freecrown Games. A great game, and really, this is something, at least one or two titles of this series you should have in your collection. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for having been here, and goodbye. See you next time. Take care. Have fun, and as always, don't be scared. It's just war games. Ciao.